Hey guys, Brian Schoaf here for BombasticEntertainment.com, and today we're going to talk about the Syma X5C Quadcopter. Now, I've had the X5C for about a month now, and I'm really impressed with what you get for the money. This is a really nice middle-of-the-road quadcopter, and you can easily pick it up and fly it whether it's your first, second, or fifth quad. Measuring in at about 12 by 12 inches, the form factor is big enough to not get totally tossed around on windy days like smaller quads, but still small enough you can easily store it. One nice feature is they included some colored LEDs on the bottom, so you can always tell which direction the copter is facing when it's up in the air. The camera records the 720p HD video, which is respectable, but we'll talk about image quality in a minute. For now, just know that it records the micro SD cards. Mine came with a 4 gig card, which is more than big enough to record several flights without offloading. But if you find you want a bigger card, it's nice to know you can have it. The battery is housed underneath the camera, and you don't need any tools to swap them out, so you can bring a bunch of them with you when you go out flying. The plastic housing is soft enough to be flexible, but strong enough you don't have to worry about it falling open or snapping. It's got a nice feel to it. In practice, the battery life lasts a good 6 to 8 minutes depending on use, but that'll come down a bit if you're recording a lot of video. Batteries will charge from flat dead to full in about 45 minutes, so I recommend getting a multi-charger if you plan on keeping spares. The remote has a quality feel to it. The sticks are responsive and you got all the basic controls you'd expect. These are for adjusting the trim. Over here you can take still pictures by pressing up, video by pressing down, and on the bottom these buttons are just for show. Not really sure why this is here. It makes an otherwise nice controller seem cheap, and it just comes off as a waste of plastic. The LCD is a cool inclusion, and you can see what the elevation and directional controls are doing. Not sure how helpful it is since your eyes are going to be up in the sky when you're flying, but it's nice to have. Another cool thing about this remote is that if you have one of Syma's other quadcopters, chances are this remote will work with it. I paired the X5C's remote up with this X11C, and everything works perfectly, which is cool because this remote is a big step up from the one that comes with the cheaper model. Connecting to the quadcopter is simple. Turn the unit's power switch on, and the lights will start to flash. Now turn on the remote's power, and then slide the elevation control stick all the way up, and then back down, and you'll hear a beep. The lights on the drone will turn solid, confirming you've paired the devices. Out in the real world, flying is nice and smooth, but anything over a moderate wind and you can start to see the X5C start to struggle a bit. They claim the unit has a stabilizer built in, but how well that actually works when you're fighting the winds, it's kind of hard to tell. And when you get up really high, winds become stronger than they are down low, so you just kind of gotta play it by ear. You can also flip forwards, backwards, side to side. A negative is when the batteries get low, the lights will start to flash. I say it's a downside because it isn't so much a low battery warning as it is a notification that the battery is about to die. So if you've been flying for a few minutes and you're towards the end of the battery life, you're going to want to keep the unit down low so it doesn't fall so far. That said, the build quality is pretty impressive. I've dropped hard on cement, crashed into trees, and bounced off every wall in my house, and I'm still on my first set of rotors. As far as the camera goes, it's kind of a mixed bag. It's highly susceptible to rolling shutter, and the file format is very highly compressed. Even in bright daylight and perfect flying conditions, you can see it loses a lot of detail, and that's before the rolling shutter happens. You can clean it up a bit if you have access to some stabilization plugins in your editing software, but the rolling shutter can really skunk your footage in even moderate winds. And even though it records sound, it's nothing you'll want to use. Now, I know I'm being overly hard on the camera, but it is a pretty big selling point of this particular model, and the reality is, it's just a toy. Still, all things considered, it's a lot of fun to see what your quadcopter sees, and you can find some real gems in your flight footage. So as long as you think of this as more of something that gives you an eye in the sky, and not something that's going to compete with the more expensive drones like a Phantom, you won't be disappointed. This quad packs a lot of value for the money. It's durable, has decent battery life, and it's pretty feature-rich. The camera might be a letdown, but it's really more of a cherry on top of the whole thing rather than the main event. Bottom line is, the X5C is a lot of fun to fly, and whether you're a first-time flyer or a seasoned pilot, there's a lot to like here, and I feel like you get a lot of bang for your buck. Well, that's it. Don't forget to check out BombasticEntertainment.com so you can see what we're up to, and if you have any questions, you can leave a comment below or hit me up right here on Twitter. Thanks for watching.